Jets have hired a defensive coordinator. This is a massive one, a big one here. The New York Jets have hired Steve Wilks as their defensive coordinator. Let's get to know Steve Wilks. Steve Wilks, as a player, played in Charlotte, of course, not the 49ers, a different football program again, as a defensive back in 1993. He began coaching in Johnson C. Smith, which is a university, of course, as a defense coordinator in 1995 to 96. Then went to Savannah State as the defense coordinator in 1997 and 98. Promoted to become the head coach in 1999. Left there to go to Illinois State to become the defensive backs coach in 2000. Left there to go to App State in defensive backs coach in 2001. And then left there to go to East Tennessee State University as the defense coordinator in 2002. Then went to Bowling Green State as the defensive backs coach in 2003. Goes to Notre Dame as the defensive backs coach in 2004. Heads to Washington as the secondary coach in 2005. Then he transitioned from college to the NFL, where he went with the Bears as the defensive backs coach from 2006 to 2008. Then with the San Diego Chargers in 2009 and 2011, when he was the D-backs coach. Then he went to Carolina with the Panthers as the defensive backs coach in 2012 to 2014. Then he was the assistant head coach / defensive backs coach in Carolina 2015 to 2016. Then he went as an assistant head coach and promoted to become the defensive coordinator for the Panthers in 2017. And then he was named the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals in 2018. But after a rough year in 2018, he gets the Cleveland job as the defensive coordinator in 2019. Left there to go to Missouri in 2021. Came back to Carolina as the defensive passing game coordinator and secondary coach in 2022, as well as interim head coach. And if you know this, yes, the Panthers were so close in that year to win the division. The game was on the line against Tom Brady and the Bucs. Unfortunately, they did not win the division on that year. Tom Brady deal with the Panthers. Wish we could have him as the head coach. But then went to defensive coordinator in San Francisco 2023. After being fired, he went to Charlotte with the 49ers as a volunteer advisor in 2024. This hire makes a lot of sense. We know this was going to happen. Of course, Aaron Glenn, there were some reports that if Aaron Glenn was going to be hired, he was also going to be expecting to hire Steve Wilks to become his defensive coordinator. This makes a lot of sense. You see his resume, of course. He's been a defensive coordinator, of course, everywhere. Like everywhere. This will be his fourth team becoming the defensive coordinator. Of course, he started the defensive coordinator job in Carolina. Then, of course, defensive coordinator in Cleveland. Then in San Francisco. Now he's going with the Jets, a team that has some good defensive players, of course. He's going to have Sauce Gardner, Jeremiah Johnson, Quentin Williams. All questions on DJ Reader, who we'll see if he'll return to New York or maybe go somewhere, maybe like Atlanta, to reunite with Jeff Ulbrich. But is this an upgrade for Jeff Ulbrich? I don't know. I think he's still a good coach. I give this hire A-. Again, he's a great defensive-minded coach, and I think he's looking to get back in the head coaching groove. Some other Jets coaching news. The Jets are hiring Chris Banjo as the special teams coordinator. So the Jets finally have a new special teams coordinator. And we're told they're expecting to hire Steve Haddon as their offensive line coach. Haddon's spent, of course, in Detroit as the tight ends coach. And now he had an assistant O-line coach back in Arizona. And now he's going to be coaching the O-line in New York to protect Aaron Rodgers. But the big story is the New York Jets have hired Steve Wilks as your next defensive coordinator. If you have not checked my sports news, then I talk about DeAndre Fox maybe going to San Antonio or the other landing spots. Go ahead and check that out on sports news again. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. And again, the New York Jets have hired Steve Wilks as their next defensive coordinator.